As we're recording this episode of Three Things Thursday, last week, literally last week, the IRS announced one of the most taxpayer-friendly changes I've seen in a long time. Now, if you have ever gotten an IRS penalty notice or you're expecting one, or if you represent anyone who has, this one is for you. I'm Bill Bourbonnais. Welcome to Three Things Thursday. And before you pay a single dollar on your next penalty notice, here are three things that just changed. Thing number one, the well-kept secret. For decades, the IRS has run a program called First Time Abatement, FTA. It's been buried in the IRS internal manual, not a statute, not a regulation, an administrative procedure that existed only if you knew how to ask for it by exact name. Here's what it did. If you had a clean compliance history for the past 3 years, no penalties assessed, all returns filed, all taxes paid, the IRS would remove your current penalty. Failure to file, failure to pay, failure to deposit payroll taxes, all eligible. And it wasn't just for individuals. S corporations, partnerships, corporations, payroll tax filers, all eligible. The same 3-year clean history requirement applied across the board. The problem was access. You had to know the program existed. You had to know the name, and you had to get someone on the phone or file a written request. And most people didn't. In fiscal year 2025, about 220,000 people received first-time abatement relief. The IRS estimates that over 1.5 million people qualified and didn't get it. That's about 1.28 million taxpayers who paid penalties they didn't owe because they didn't know to ask. Here's the important thing. First-time abatement has existed for decades. 3 years of compliance history, and the penalty goes away. Most taxpayers never even heard of it. Thing number two, now it's automatic, but check before you pay. On July 8th of this year, 2026, the IRS announced Automatic Exemption from Penalty, AEP. The same eligibility as the first-time abatement, 3 years of clean compliance history, same filing type, timely filed and paid on time. But now the IRS is supposedly applying it automatically during return processing. No call required, no Form 843, no knowing the magic phrase. If you qualify and your return triggers the penalty, the IRS should waive it before it's even assessed and send you a letter confirming that the relief was granted. The timeline, AEP starts this summer and applies to 2025 individual returns and 2026 quarterly returns. For returns with original due dates on or after January 1st, 2027, AEP fully replaces the first-time abatement, FTA. But here's the catch. We're in a transition period right now. Some qualified taxpayers are already receiving penalty notices for returns that should have gotten automatic relief because those returns were processed before the system was in place. The action step is simple and important. Before you write a check on any penalty notice, pull your IRS transcripts. Confirm whether AEP was applied. If you believe you qualify and it wasn't, call the IRS. During the transition period, you can still request first-time abatement manually. Don't assume the automation worked for you. Verify. Here's the takeaway for this step number here. AEP is now automatic for qualifying taxpayers, but we're in the transition. Some notices are slipping through. Check transcripts before you pay anything. Thing number three, for small partnerships, there's a second abatement avenue, and the IRS is using first-time abatement first. So this one is for real estate investors and business owners who operate partnerships. And it's the thing that even a lot of tax professionals don't know. The IRS has a separate penalty abatement provision for small domestic partnerships baked into Revenue Procedure 8435, RevProc 8435. If your partnership has 10 or fewer partners, all of whom are individuals, and each partner timely filed their own personal return and you're a domestic partnership, the IRS will abate the failure to file penalty for the partnership. This has been there since 1984, And most people who would benefit from it have never even heard of it. Here's the critical distinction. RevPOC 8435 does not have the 3-year hard reset that first-time abatement and AEP have. But here's what you need to understand about the order of operations. The IRS applies first-time abatement and automatic exemption from penalty first, before going to RevPOC 8435 or any other abatement avenue. That is an administrative decision by the IRS. The taxpayer doesn't get to choose which tool gets used. So if the IRS automatically applies AEP to your qualifying small partnership's late filing penalty, the first-time abatement card for that entity is consumed. The 3-year reset clock starts. And that's not something you elected, it's just what happened. Here's what makes RevProc 8435 valuable to know about. In a future year, when first-time abatement is not available because it was used this year and the 3-year reset hasn't cleared, RevProc 8435 may still be on the table if the partnership qualifies. It's a separate avenue that doesn't require a clean 3-year FTA history. It exists independently of first-time abatement. The practical implication? Read your penalty notices carefully. Know when first-time abatement or automatic exemption from a penalty has been applied to your partnership. Understand the reset clock has started, and know that in a year when FTA isn't available, 8435 may be. So FTA and RevProc 8435 are not the same tool, and they don't run on the same schedule. Knowing which one was used and which one may still be available is the distinction that matters. So in closing, first-time abatement was a secret for decades. Making it automatic by the IRS is happening, and it's eventually. Right now, we're in the transition, and qualified taxpayers are receiving notices that maybe they shouldn't have to pay. Check your transcripts before you write a check. Call the IRS if you got a notice and believe you qualify. And if you operate a small partnership, understand that first-time abatement and RevProc 8435 are different tools, and the order the IRS uses them matters. Now, if distinctions like this are helpful, 3 Things Thursday drops every week. Hit subscribe or follow, and don't miss the next one. If any of this applies to your situation, that's a conversation worth having. Find us at bourbonnetax.com. I'm Bill Bourbonnais. 3 Things Thursday is for general education purposes and isn't specific tax advice for your situation. Contact us to learn more about how we work. No hype, no shortcuts, just strategy. We'll see you next week. Have a great day. Thanks a lot.